You definitely remember Scott Disick from back when we all kept up with the Kardashians. Well, did you know that he has a seriously good and expensive taste in cars? His garage is an auto showroom on steroids. So join us as we dive into the jaw-dropping world of Scott Disick's car collection, including a mystery 60s classic and the Lamborghini he crashed in 2022. Number 1. McLaren 720S. Lord Disick's got this preference for modern cars, which lies in one pretty obvious fact. The man's got a near insatiable need for speed. In fact, in an interview with Podium One Racing, he said, "So it only makes sense that we start our tour with one of his speed demons, a McLaren 720S. This guy definitely needs no introduction. McLaren themselves call it a force of nature, and boy, were they spot on. You know what? Here's a fun fact for you. This high-performance supercar was only the second all-new car in McLaren Super Series, replacing the 650s in May 2017. The striking look of the 720S matches its out-of-this-world performance, which is saying quite a lot because this beast can blast off to 120 miles per hour in just under 7 seconds. The 720S has a bunch of design features adopted from the McLaren F1. Its headlights conceal air vents that funnel incoming air to two small radiators in front of the wheels. The rear of the 720S features thin LED taillights similar to those on the McLaren P1 and two round exhaust pipes. While the design features on this beauty are next level, Disick still had to give it his own special touch. He once said, "For me, a car is, I buy it and make it into a project. Different this, different that." For his 720S, he had the wing at the back upgraded, as well as forged wheels and added pure turbos. He also added new injectors and intercoolers. Now, we obviously can't tell you how fast this guy goes with all the new upgrades, but we can still tell you this guy is one powerful ride even without the many tune-ups. Sporting a twin turbocharged 4-liter V8 engine, the 720S straight out of the factory will unleash up to 710 horsepower and 568 pound-feet of torque. What this means is that this supercar will fly to a top speed of 212 miles per hour and do a 0 to 60 in just 2.8 seconds. Don't know why he still had to upgrade on this. Well, even with how fast his 720S is, and it would actually make a lot of sense if he crashed it, this guy is still intact. Don't worry, our first ever 2-part finale will be special. But before then, how about some more of Disick's speed demons? Number 2. Porsche 992 Turbo S. Well, you can't really go wrong with a great Porsche, can you? And for Lord Disick, that great Porsche is a 992 Turbo S. Honestly, great is an understatement with this guy. Time for another fun fact. Do you know that the Flip It Like Disick star actually has a thing against Porsches? Well, had, because this beauty completely changed his mind. "I never understood," Disick stated. He continued, "until I had one. But I totally get it. It's one of the best handling cars and the best driving cars I've ever had." A pretty high praise coming from someone like him, cause, you know, he's been in a whole lot of cars. This $250,000 beauty is one of the German automaker's fastest production vehicles. But you probably already figured that out. It literally has turbo in the name. However, besides just its speed, as Disick said, its handling and advanced technology means this guy will be remembered quite fondly even after a lot of faster Porsches take over the market. Just like with his 720S, Disick still gave this guy his own signature touch, new wheels, a body kit, and carbon everywhere. And when we say carbon everywhere, we mean carbon everywhere. He even added a new carbon fiber steering wheel. Well, his little modifications went beyond just changing the Turbo S's look. He also put in a new turbo, cause why not? He then got it lowered and put in injectors, intercoolers, and had a 1016 kit in the back. All these modifications mean this beauty will go a lot faster than Porsche intended. The 3.7-liter twin-turbo flat-6 engine delivers a staggering 640 horsepower and 590 pound-feet of torque, launching it to 60 miles per hour in 2.6 seconds. That's more acceleration than the 720S, and that's quite the feat. Speed-wise, though, it's still behind Disick's McLaren, cutting through the air at a top speed of 205 miles per hour. Nevertheless, Disick never misses a chance to take this guy out for a spin, even though he's definitely not going to go as fast as he'd want to. He once called it his daily driver, which is like calling a diamond-encrusted Rolex a beater watch. Well, the 992 Turbo S features all-wheel drive, so that explains why it's his daily driver. Well, enough with speed demons. How about we slow it down just a bit? Number 3. Rolls-Royce Dawn. Is it really a modern celebrity garage without at least one luxury Rolls-Royce? Well, the answer to that is obviously a no, and Disick knows this. That's why he splashed a whopping $360,000 on a Rolls-Royce Dawn, the first convertible in his collection, and he literally couldn't have had a better pick, perfectly balancing sophistication with the freedom of the open road. This beauty is proof that you don't particularly need to be the fastest to provide an exhilarating sensory experience. This luxury Grand Tourer is renowned for being supremely comfortable with a high-quality finishing only Rolls-Royce can offer, ensuring that you have a luxurious experience every single time you step into its cockpit. However, its luxurious interior and comfort aren't the only reason the Dawn is one of the Rolls-Royce's finest creations. Its elegant design and curves have also been highly lauded, with some even going as far as describing it as the sexiest Rolls-Royce ever built. And that's saying quite a lot, given that every Rolls-Royce is an absolute head-turner. Well, as for the hunk of metal powering this bad boy, we've got a 6.6-liter twin-turbo V12 engine, which takes it to a top speed of 155 miles per hour, the slowest ride so far in Disick's garage. But you probably already figured by now that this guy isn't for breaking the sound barrier. In terms of power, its V12 engine unleashes 571 horsepower and 820 newton-meters of torque, allowing it to be 0 to 60 in 4.8 seconds. In addition to all that, the Dawn's 8-speed automatic transmission is tuned to tranquility. It also uses a GPS to determine when it should change gears, considering whether the car is going downhill, uphill, or around corners. Quite the feature, that. While we could go all day with praises, there's still a major downside of owning a car this massive. With a length of 5.3 meters, maneuvering the Dawn can be a little tricky. Something you can bet a man like Disick, who's been in like 100 quick-turning supercars, has noticed. Well, things get a lot bigger in Disick's jaw-dropping garage, which brings us to number 4, Mercedes Brabus G-Wagon. For a man like Disick, who's in love with going really fast, you wouldn't expect him to own a G-Wagon. But then again, he is also in love with customization, which makes him own a Brabus G-Wagon right on brand. Well, for those of you who don't know, a Brabus G-Wagon isn't some different G-Wagon model. No, it's just a regular G-Wagon that's been extensively tuned and customized by Brabus. We're talking cosmetic modifications, luxury interior upgrades, and of course, performance enhancements. Going into details, the German tuning company offers major power upgrades to the G-Wagon's engine, often resulting in a lot higher horsepower and torque figures than the basic AMG models. Brabus also modifies the steering and suspension for a more engaging and sporty driving experience while still maintaining the G-Wagon's off-road capabilities. These performance upgrades also continue to the braking system with larger, more powerful brakes to handle the increased weight and power. Now, moving on to exterior modifications. Brabus is renowned for its wide body kits, which significantly widen the wagon's stance and gives it a much more aggressive look. They also offer a variety of alloy wheels, often with unique finishes and designs. All these modifications come together to make the G-Wagon a lot sturdier than it already was. So the million-dollar question is, what did Scott Disick have done on his Brabus G-Wagon? For starters, Disick is a very big fan of the ride. He once called it an all-around epic car. As for the modifications, carbon fiber is making an appearance yet again. The interior of this bad boy is all black with carbon fiber trim and a carbon fiber steering wheel. It's also a near impossible task to determine what's fitted under this G-Wagon's hood, so we really can't tell how powerful or how fast this monster can go. Huge bummer. Anywho, the Brabus G-Wagon still isn't the biggest ride Disick's got sitting in his LA mansion. That honor goes to number 5, Becker Cadillac Escalade. A car collection like Disick's definitely needs a backup plan. You can't go hauling your kids around in a Porsche Turbo S, can you? That backup plan needs to be low-key and not cost much. For Lord Disick, that low-key ride is a Becker Cadillac Escalade, which, at a price of over 160 grand, is as low-key as his collection's going to get. Just like with his Brabus G-Wagon, his Cadillac Escalade has been customized by Becker Automotive Design, a California-based firm that, for decades, has been transforming SUVs and vans. Fun little tidbit, guys. This handsome, massive SUV you're looking at is Disick's baby. He might totally be in love with trying to recreate the entire Fast and Furious franchise in LA, but his Caddy is still his personal favorite, and you might as well owe that to all of Becker's little modifications. We're talking electrically operated rear seats that incline and stretch out to footrests mounted into the floor, high-speed Wi-Fi, HD video on a 32-inch LCD monitor that rises from the divider separating the front seats from the rear cabin, and a crazy surround sound audio system that includes Dyna audio speakers and digital amplifiers. The rear seats on this guy are similar to those on a first-class plane, with its interactive seats and custom tray tables. The inside is particularly spacious and has even been described as presidential. Disick got it completely stretched out, with the doors lengthened by about 10 inches. The Escalade's got enough space for his entourage, his ego, and a few cases of his favorite tequila. In fact, this monster is bulletproof. His Escalade really can't get more presidential than that. Now for the moment of truth. Just how much power is this beauty packing? Truth is, like with his G-Wagon, you can't really be looking to evade the paparazzi in this one. It's comfy. not fast. A standard Cadillac Escalade features a 6.2-liter V8 engine unleashing up to 420 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque. It also features a 10-speed automatic transmission controlled with overdrive. All this propels this bad boy to a maximum speed of 155 miles per hour and a maximum speed of 0 to 60 in 6.1 seconds. Disick switches through cars like they were his clothes, but this guy definitely isn't going anywhere anytime soon. Well, the time's come for our two-part finale, and we'll be starting with the mystery 60s classic we promised. What's your money on? Number 6. Shelby Cobra. Lord Disick has made it quite clear that he loves his rides modern and extremely fast. However, what happens when you find a ride that caters to your need for speed but turns out to be a vintage? Well, the Keeping Up with the Kardashians star decided to back his love for going fast and turning heads over his need for modern tech. While you can definitely have an issue with Disick's ultra-modern garage, this guy will be pretty easy to fall in love with. A 1962 Shelby Cobra. Take a moment to have a good look at this guy. And here's the cherry on top. It's not a continuation model, a rebadge, or a certified replica. Disick actually has a proper Shelby VIN Cobra parked in his 5-bay garage. Time for a bit of a history lesson on this beauty. The Shelby Cobra, or AC Cobra in Europe, is a British-American sports car produced intermittently in both the US and UK since 1962, praised for its powerful engine and iconic design. This classic only started as a collaboration between Carroll Shelby and AC Cars, who then took an AC Ace Roadster and fitted it with a Ford V8 engine. The product of that little merger, a beauty that would be remembered many decades later. In fact, what you're looking at was primed as the Corvette killer. It was designed as a competitor to the Corvette with one goal in mind: to become the fastest cars available at the time, a goal it actually succeeded at. Besides that, its design also turned heads back then, and it still does today. Long hood, short rear deck, and a low aggressive stance. Wide oval-shaped grille with vertical chrome bars. Dual round chrome-rimmed headlamps embedded in fenders. Pronounced rear wheel arches to accommodate wide tires. Iconic side seat exhaust pipes running along the doors. All these features came together to make this guy truly unforgettable. At its core is a powerful 7-liter Ford 427 FE engine with a 4-barrel carburetor churning out around 485 horsepower and 480 pound-feet of torque. That hunk of metal propels this beauty to a top speed of 185 miles per hour, going from 0 to 60 in just 5.8 seconds, which were crazy numbers back in the 60s. This guy is definitely the most shocking addition to Disick's garage, but the Shelby Cobra will still hold its own against Disick's army of modern cars. And now, for the sequel to our finale. What ride did he crash? You know his collection has a number of speed demons, so it's only logical that he crashes one of his faster cars. But that actually wasn't the case. Number 7. Lamborghini Urus. Back in 2022, it was reported that the reality TV star had been involved in an accident where his car was literally flipped over while driving through the Oaks gated community in Calabasas, California. Well, fortunately, Disick wasn't seriously impaired and only suffered a few minor injuries. Unfortunately, though, the same could not be said about the car he was driving when the crash occurred, a Lamborghini Urus. Apparently, while it's still unclear what caused the crash in the first place, rumor has it that Disick was going too fast when his Urus ran into a stone mailbox and flipped over. Yep, speed demons or not, this man's going to go fast. Well, in the end, he didn't receive any citations for the accident and he was alone in the car, so it seems like his Urus was the only one really hurt on that day. This is one of those rides that needs no further introduction. One of the Italian automaker's most renowned inventions. This high-performance, full-sized SUV perfectly balances luxury and Italian design, featuring sharp, angular lines and a distinctive Lamborghini design language characteristic of the brand's sports cars. For Disick, though, this guy's for hauling his kids around sometimes. Good thing they weren't in the car when it flipped over. Now, even though this guy is Disick's family hauler, it doesn't mean he didn't give it his signature touch. Its interior is a blend of Alcantara, carbon fiber, and enough touchscreens to make this guy look like the USS Enterprise. Disick also had it customized with gold accented floor mats and a Disick family plaque on the dash. A bit over the top, just how he likes it. Under this Lambo's hood is a 4.0 twin-turbocharged V8 engine producing 657 horsepower and 627 pound-feet of torque, as well as an 8-speed automatic transmission and a permanent all-wheel drive. With this guy, you're getting a smoother acceleration than Disick's transition from reality TV star to luxury influencer. Now, we said this guy isn't a speed demon. We didn't say it was a slouch speed-wise. The Urus is still capable of reaching a top speed of 190 miles per hour and would go from 0 to 60 in 3.1 seconds. Pretty impressive for an SUV. As you'd expect, this guy's no longer in his garage because of the crash, but he's still got more than enough family haulers for sure. And with that, we've reached the end of another grand celebrity garage tour. Not to oversell it here, but there aren't many celebrity car collections as over the top as Disick's, and trust us, this isn't all the rides he's been in. Scott's garage isn't a building, it's a shrine to excess. Does anyone need 10 plus luxury rides? Absolutely not. But when you're the Lord of Extra, Lord Disick need is just a 4-letter word. So tell us, was there a Kardashian garage you'd want a tour of, and who would it be?